Good morning, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and here I am at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland, getting ready to go in for a new comic book day. Now, the big new books for today are going to be the ones from the Jeff Johns Company Ghost Machine. Books like the new Geiger #1, Redcoat #1, and Rook #1. These are all pretty big books, but what's exciting about this here today is that in just a few days on Saturday, Jeff Johns is actually going to be in the shop doing a signing. So I wanted to pick up these copies so I can get him to sign them here and then take some of these copies and take them with me to Fan Expo up in Philly in about a month to get Brian Hitch and Gary Frank to sign them as well. So big day here. There's definitely going to be some other things that I'm going to be looking at, but those were the big books that I made a note of today. We will come back. I will sit down and I will bag and board everything, and then I will sit down and I will show you everything that I pick up from this particular new comic book day. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I just finished up at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland. I hope you enjoyed some of that footage. I did not shoot a lot today, but I've got some pretty good books. I will go home, get them bagged and boarded, and then I will sit down and show you everything I picked up on this new comic book day here at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, everybody, so I finally got back home, took time to bag and board all the comic books I picked up from New Comic Book Day, and took time to actually shave the old man beard off. So, feels really good because it was starting to get a little scratchy. Anyway, the big books this week were the first 3 releases from the new Ghost Machine Company through Image Comics from Jeff Johns. And let's just go through those to begin with. We've got Geiger #1 with Gary Frank artwork. We've got Redcoat #1 with Brian Hitch artwork. And then we've got Rook Exodus with Jason Fabok doing the artwork on there. Now, what's significant about these is this particular new comic book day is only a couple days out before Third Eye Comics host Jeff Johns coming in for a signing. So I'll be there on this Saturday or the Saturday for the signing. By the time this video comes out, both this new comic book day obviously is already gone and passed, but so will the signing by the time this video actually comes out. And I'll probably do a video on that as well. But what I wanted to do was make sure that I had all 3 of these copies. Even though I had pre-ordered them from my subscription service, these things won't be in until next month. So I wanted to have these on hand for the signing. And I've already pulled some of the Jeff Johns books that I want to get signed in addition to these new ones. And the idea, especially on these 3 right here, is to take them up to Philadelphia next month for the Fan Expo, where Brian Hitch and Jason Fabok are both going to be there. I'm not sure if Gary Frank's going to be there. I seem to recall he might be as well. I think the whole most of that team is going to be there at Fan Expo. So I will take these books after getting them signed by Jeff Johns up there as well to get the artists to sign them too. Although Jeff Johns is going to be up there too, but that's also a paid signing that I just won't have to go to the Jeff Johns line for anything. But there were other comics for New Comic Book Day. Let's go through those. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I missed. In fact, if I had not wanted to get these for the signing coming up on the weekend, I probably would have skipped over this week because there wasn't a lot of books that were generating a lot of buzz, at least in my opinion, for myself. So I can't speak to everybody else out there. I know there's some channels that have talked about they had literally 25 different books that they were pulling. Now, some of those were ratio books that going to be a lot more limited. There wasn't a lot that I was super interested in. So what I did, let's see. This is one that was not on my radar, but once I took a look at it and I realized that JMD Mateus is writing it, it is Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin. And one of the things I find is some of the more classic, older writers at Marvel, when you do some of these series like this, they actually do really good. It actually, I haven't read this yet, but in the past, some of his books and some of the other writers from this generation, when they go back and write these characters, and even if it's a piece, it's a book from the past. It's a story that within a story from the past. They actually do really good. It sounds like the characters the way they should sound. You know, that's one of the biggest complaints I see in today's comics, especially Spider-Man. It just doesn't seem like that's really Spider-Man. It's the writer is writing in putting themselves as that character, not really what Peter Parker might sound like. But I'm going on a little bit of a tangent right here. Just know that I'm putting a little bit of faith in J.D. Mateus. I hope I'm saying his name right. One of my favorite writers. He, of course, did the Justice League with Griffin, and he was also doing, what was it, League of Superheroes, and I want to say for Marvel, it was the Captain America stuff. I mean, the Captain America stuff was fantastic with Mike Zeck, of course. Anyway, so I picked that up with the intent really to read how good this book might be. So I'm hoping that book's pretty good. I did pick this up. It was a cover buy. It's a new Captain America, number 6, or is it 8? I can't read. Yeah, it's number 8. You've got Greg and Tim Hildebrandt cover right there. And I know that there's a signing at CGC, but in the back of my mind, I think he might be at one of the cons that's coming up that I might be going to. So I wanted to have something just to get signed. I'm not interested in getting something from him signed and CGC'd and graded. I don't need that, but just to have a signed book would be kind of cool. And I thought this Captain America cover was really nice from his painting of that. I did pick up the new Deadpool number 1, although I'm not much of a fan of Deadpools, but I am a fan of number 1 comics. And I did the same thing with his. I love Godzilla, but I'm not a Power Rangers fan. But I went ahead and picked that up, and these are just number 1s to pick up, and I'm making a mess here. Let's put some of these behind here. So those were the new books that I picked up from New Comic Book Day. It's not that exciting. It's just that the Ghost Machine books from Jeff Johns, that was the big key for this week. And when I get a chance, we'll put out this video, and I'll put out the video for the signing over the weekend. Actually, it's a big weekend signing, and honestly, by the time you see this video, the signing is going to be done, as well as the additional signing that they're going to do at Third Eyes on the Sunday of this weekend. They're having Tony Fleeks and Trish Foistner from Feral and, of course, Stray Dogs fame are coming in as well. So it's going to be a big weekend at Third Eye Comics, and I will probably do a joint video where I'll put all of the footage, and I'll do one show with all the signings from this particular weekend there. So stay tuned for that. But guys, let me know what you think of the new comics that I picked up, and what new comics did you pick up from this particular week on New Comic Book Day. I'd love to know. Just leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more of it, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of my content that I put out each and every week, Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You have a great week, and I will see you for the next show. Just remember, every comic has a story.